My beloved child, I want you to know that I choose you. Yes, you are my chosen one and I love you very much. I know that you may not feel like my chosen one, so here is what I would like you to do. Take a moment to reflect on yourself and question whether I still perceive you in the same light. If my feelings for you have shifted, or if the distance you've sensed has disqualified you from being my chosen one. You've quietly wondered, would he still choose me after everything I am ashamed of? Here is my clear and everlasting response: you are still the one I chose. I didn't select you for your perfection or because you always got things right. I chose you with full awareness of every challenge you would face, every mistake you would make, and every time you would feel unworthy, and I chose you nonetheless. My mind hasn't changed, and it never will. From the very start, even before you had a name in this world, you had a name in my heart. I didn't wait to see how your life would unfold to determine your worthiness of love. I didn't weigh your potential against your struggles, nor did I impose conditions on your calling. I chose you knowing every joy, failure, confusion, and silence that would come your way. None of it frightened me, none of it took me by surprise. I saw it all and still declared, "This child is mine." You have measured your worth by your lowest moments, allowing the echoes of shame to redefine you. You've looked back at times when you felt distant from me and questioned whether those times rewrote your story. They did not. I never crossed your name out, nor did I replace you. I never stopped calling you mine, even during your wandering. My hand has always remained on your life. I wasn't observing from afar, waiting for you to get yourself together. I was walking alongside you through the dust, whispering reminders of who you are, even when you couldn't hear them. You believed I left you when you drifted, but the truth is that I drew closer. I didn't pull away. I safeguarded what you thought was lost and covered what you believed was ruined. You view yourself through the lens of delays and detours, while I see you through the lens of design. The purpose I placed within you didn't vanish when your heart grew weary, and the calling I whispered over you didn't dissolve when life became burdensome. It's still there, still alive, and now I am awakening it again, not because I'm offering you a second chance, but because the first one was never rescinded. I understand what you have endured, my child, what you've tried to forget, and the moments you'd rather hide from me. But I also recognize the depth of who you are beyond those instances. I know the softness you buried to shield yourself and the tenderness that still stirs when you allow the noise to settle. I acknowledge the courage it took to survive even when you couldn't thrive, and I honor it all. You don't need to explain why you distanced yourself, nor do you need to apologize before I offer restoration. My love doesn't wait for the perfect confession, it meets you in your pain and uncertainty, when you're still unsure if you're allowed to believe again. That's what grace does, it moves first, reaching for you before you even know how to reach back. And now here we are, you and me. I'm not focused on your past, I'm looking at your heart, right here, right now, still open, still hungry, still mine. You were never forgotten, even when you forgot how to pray or believed you didn't matter. I was there, not in judgment, but in compassion. I counted every tear you didn't let fall and heard every question you buried beneath distractions. I waited, not in impatience, but in love, because I knew this day would come, this softening, this remembering, this return. Beloved, I want you to grasp something that will transform how you proceed from here. You were not chosen once, you are chosen still, present tense, ongoing, eternal. You are not striving to regain your place, you are living from a position that was never taken from you. That's why your spirit still responds when I speak. That's why you feel my presence even when you thought you were too far away. You were never disqualified, you were merely wounded, and I am healing that now. Release the voice that tells you that you've squandered too much time. Let go of the pressure to be someone you're not, and the fear that I've moved on without you, I haven't. My pace aligns with your return, my grace surpasses your guilt, and my mercy rewrites your name until you believe again that it was never erased. You are still capable of joy, worthy of peace, chosen for impact, anointed for tenderness, and able to carry the light even after the darkness you've traversed. You are not defined by your pain, you are defined by who I still say you are. My child, lift your head again, not because you've earned it, but because you are welcome to return to my presence, not as a guest, but as someone who never lost their place. Let the lies fall off your shoulders like dust, let the shame drop like chains, and allow me to remind you of what has always been true: you are still the one I chose. I didn't choose you lightly, I chose you knowing everything, and I still do. You've spent so much time believing that my love for you is fragile, that my choice hinges on your behavior, that one wrong turn, one quiet season, or one unanswered prayer could make me change my mind. But let me speak this to the core of your being: I chose you with everything in mind, not just the parts you let others see, nor just the moments when you got it right. I saw it all: the hesitation, the shame, the times you wanted to give up, the questions whispered in the dark, the parts of your story you hoped I had forgotten. I didn't forget them, I knew them before they occurred, and I still said yes. You were never chosen for your perfection, you were chosen for your design, for the intention I placed within you when I formed you in silence before your first breath. That was not an accident, it was not random. There was nothing casual about the moment I wrapped your name in purpose and called it good. I knew who you would become, the weight you would bear, and how the world would attempt to rename, reframe, and reduce you. But I also knew how I would keep drawing you back, to truth, to belonging, to me. Now, here you are, closer than you think. Your spirit has responded before your mind could catch up. That stirring you feel, that gentle ache, is recognition. Your soul is remembering what it means to be chosen, not for performance, but for presence, to be fully known and still wanted, to be loved not in spite of your story, but because I am the one still writing it. My child, you have labeled yourself too much, too sensitive, too inconsistent, too far gone. Others may have agreed, you may have sensed it in their tone, in their silence, in the way they withdrew when you needed them most. I understand how that shaped you, how deeply rejection cuts, and how quickly you learn to protect yourself by becoming smaller, quieter, and safer. But let me tell you now, in a voice that is not angry but healing, I never pulled back. I never distanced myself. I never stopped calling your name, even when you weren't listening, even when you turned away, even when the pain felt more real than my promises. You are not meant to live in hiding, you are not meant to spend your life apologizing for the ways your heart still beats. You are not meant to believe that love is something that must be earned through endless effort. I do not love you for what you bring to me, I love you because you are mine. I chose you knowing you would wander, knowing there would be days when faith felt heavy and worship felt hollow. I chose you knowing that you would struggle to accept this kind of love, and I still chose you. Let that settle, let your breath take that in. Let it quiet the lie that says you've gone too far. Let it silence the voice that claims you must start over to be found again. You don't need to start over, you are already found. You are already held. You are already moving toward healing, not because you mapped it out perfectly, but because you allowed me to draw near when everything within you insisted you didn't deserve it. You don't need to fix yourself to belong to me, you don't need to rewrite the past to earn your way back. Your redemption isn't fragile, it isn't conditional. It doesn't depend on your ability to feel worthy, it depends on my decision. I decided before the world began that you would be mine, that your life would carry light, and that your heart, though bruised, would still beat with the rhythm of grace, and it does. You are still the one I chose, and I didn't choose you for what you could do for me, I chose you so I could walk with you, to show you what love looks like in real time, to remind you again and again that you are never too far, too late, or too damaged for me. Nothing disqualifies you from what I've declared over your life. The detours didn't cancel the calling, the silence didn't erase the voice, the weakness didn't deter me, it drew me closer. So let me remain close now, let me continue rebuilding you, not through pressure, but through presence. Let me teach you how to breathe again, not with fear, but with freedom. Let me gently guide you back to yourself, the self that never stopped being mine. You don't need to earn this moment, you only need to receive it. Rest here and remember this: I knew everything, and I still said yes, not reluctantly, not conditionally, but with joy. You are still the one I chose, and I would choose you again every time. You've spent time wondering if you missed it, if too much time has passed, if too many wrong turns have rendered your purpose unreachable. You've silently asked if you lost what I placed within you. You felt the calling once strong, clear, and even exciting, but life happened. Disappointment dulled your passion, failure made you second-guess everything. People you trusted walked away, and somewhere along the way, the flame began to flicker. You told yourself, maybe it was never real, maybe you imagined it, maybe someone else was meant to carry what once burned so brightly within you. But I need you to hear me clearly now: the purpose I placed within you still lives. It didn't die when your confidence did, it didn't vanish when you went silent, it didn't leave when you did. It has been waiting, not for your perfection, but for your permission, waiting for the moment you would lift your head again, waiting for the day you would believe, even for a breath, that it might not be over, that you are not over. And that moment is now. What I called you to wasn't based on momentum or emotional hype, it was based on my knowing. I knew who you were, I knew what you would endure, I knew how your soul would stretch, break, and heal again. I designed your calling with every part of you in mind, not just the polished parts, but the broken ones too, not just the days you feel full of fire, but the days when all you have left is a whisper of yes. I can work with that, I am working with that. You may not know where to start, that's okay. You're not starting from nothing, you're starting from truth, from alignment, from surrender, and that's always where purpose thrives best. You thought you needed a platform, you thought you needed clarity, you thought you had to rebuild everything you lost before you could be useful again. But I don't use people based on the strength of their resumes, I move through those who are willing, honest, and who show up anyway. That's who you are now, and that's more than enough. Today, my child, let me remind you of what you carry. The tenderness you thought disqualified you is what makes you trustworthy. The wounds you tried to conceal have become the soil for deep empathy. The sensitivity you once despised is how I tuned your spirit to hear me clearly. The seasons that felt wasted were root work, quiet work, necessary work. Nothing I walked with you through was wasted, not a single tear, not a single delay. I've gathered every moment, and I'm weaving it into something holy. You haven't lost time, I am the redeemer of time. What you think you've missed, I've already folded into your future. What you believe is too late, I have already prepared to bloom at the right moment. You don't need to go back and fix everything, you only need to return to me. And now that you have, we begin again, not from the start, but from exactly where you are. The wisdom you carry now, the softness, the depth, those qualities were not present in your early days, but they are now. This means that what comes next will be richer, fuller, and deeper than anything you've known before. You're not being asked to build something grand, you're being asked to walk closely, to live honestly, to carry my light into every space you enter, not with force, but with peace. That's what real purpose looks like, not noise, not fame. Impact will begin to manifest, not because you're trying, but because you've aligned. People will start to notice the shift in you, they'll feel safe around your peace. They'll ask different kinds of questions and linger longer in your presence without knowing why. That's what it looks like when someone walks in purpose. It's not always loud, it's not always visible, but it is powerful because it comes from me. And in the moments where fear whispers, "But what if I fail again?" let me speak louder. Even if you fall, I'll still be there. I'm not fragile, my calling over you isn't breakable. I don't revoke purpose due to detours, I reinforce it with grace. You're not starting over, you're moving forward with a deeper foundation, with truer strength, with a clearer understanding of who I am and who you are. Don't look at others and compare your life. Don't measure yourself against someone else's possessions. Stay in your lane. Trust what I've given you. It fits you. It's shaped for your story, your voice, your steps. No one else can walk it. No one else can carry what's been entrusted to you. You may think it's small, but watch what I do with it. Watch how I multiply what's surrendered. Watch how I bring life from what you thought was buried. So take the first step, even if it's trembling. Speak what's been stirring, share what you once silenced, reach for what once seemed too far. You're not alone in this. I'm not sending you, I'm going with you. My spirit will guide you, my grace will sustain you. My presence will remind you repeatedly that you are still the one I chose and that the purpose I placed in you still lives. You're free to walk without pressure now. The weight you've carried, the internal urgency to prove yourself, the pressure to do everything right, the constant tension of being enough, none of that came from me. That was never your burden, it was never the foundation of your calling. You were never meant to carry what only my spirit was designed to hold. You learned to measure your worth through your accomplishments, through how much others approved, through how visible or valuable your output seemed. I saw it, I saw how it kept you up at night. I saw how it made you question whether you were failing, even when you were faithful. I saw how you buried joy beneath exhaustion and called it obedience. But I never asked you to hustle your way into purpose. I never asked you to wear yourself down trying to fulfill something I never placed on you in the first place. My invitation has always been this: walk with me, not run ahead of me, not chase down your worth, just walk side by side, heart open, pace steady, breath aligned. That's where joy lives, that's where clarity flows, that's where your spirit remembers that this life with me isn't about performance, it's about presence. Now, my beloved, I'm asking you to trust that it's okay to live this way, gently, honestly, fully, without striving, without comparison, without feeling that every day has to be a grand display of progress. Some days will be quiet, some days will feel slow. But in that quiet, I'm still working, in that slowness, I'm still moving. Growth in my kingdom isn't always visible, it's often deep, quiet, and rooted. I do not rush what I create, I do not pressure what I plant, I do not shame what I restore. The version of you that I walk with now is not behind schedule, you're right on time. The pace I set for you is one of peace. That doesn't mean there won't be action, it doesn't mean I won't ask you to step out. What it means is that every movement will come from overflow, not obligation, from trust, not tension, from joy, not dread. I'm not trying to extract more from you, I'm inviting more into you, a more presence, more clarity, more delight in being fully mine without needing to carry the burden of results. You've already seen what pressure produces: burnout, shame, disconnection. Now I want to show you what freedom produces: creativity, compassion, connection, and peace that lingers. When you begin to walk without fear of missing me, your hands open, your heart softens, your vision clears. You're able to see people again, not as assignments, but as human beings. You begin to see yourself again, not as a project, but as a beloved person. You don't need to do something massive to prove that your life matters, you already matter. You already carry weight in the spirit. Your presence, when rooted in me, becomes ministry. Your listening becomes healing, your silence becomes sacred. That's what happens when pressure falls and presence rises. You become available to me, to yourself, and to the people I've entrusted you to love, without rushing, fixing, or exhausting yourself in the process. Yes, I'll keep opening doors, I'll keep bringing opportunities. But I'll also teach you how to say no. I'll show you how to choose rest. I'll remind you that your worth was never in what you accomplish, it's in who you belong to, and you belong to me. So walk without urgency, love without fear, serve without striving. Let your yes be full of joy, not fear of disappointing. Let your no come from wisdom, not guilt. I'm not watching your pace to critique it, I'm walking it with you. I match your stride, I know when to slow down, I know when to lift your chin. I know how to remind you that you're not falling behind, you're learning to live in step with me. And when the world tries to pull you back into pressure, into performance, into proving, pause. Breathe. Remember this truth, you're free now. You're no longer earning your seat at the table, you're sitting in it. You're no longer working for a crown, you already wear one. You're no longer waiting to be loved, you are eternally loved. You are chosen, you are mine. Love, God. Take a moment to watch this video we have chosen for you.